Chris now goes by the nickname Minnesota Angry Man, and he's using his newfound fame to encourage others to stand up for community too. Ahead of nationwide strikes and protests tomorrow, we asked Chris if he had any words of wisdom to share, and here's what he had to say.
We need some peace and harmony in our state and across our country. We've been dealing with enough tyranny. We're done with that. We need some peace, love, and harmony. Please come out. Please show up. Get off that couch. If I can do it, you can do it. We can march. We can dance. We can sing. We can hug it out. We can swear at the sky.
From the couch to the streets, what a rallying cry there.
So he gets up in front of the camera, talks about peace, harmony. You can sing it out, hug it out. We're good, peaceful people who are just fighting tyranny. Then when a reporter comes that is a conservative or on the side of conservatives, and that reporter is watching them protest ICE, he decides that he needs to get physically violent and assault this woman. And it's on camera. That's what's so funny to me. Oh yeah, we're moral, we're virtuous, we're this, we're that. No, you're violent. And I think this happens with a lot more Democrats and people on the left than we think. And there's one thing, if a guy has to come up to you and tell you how rich he is or how much money he has or how good he is, there's a good chance he's lacking in those areas. Or if someone has to repeatedly tell you how virtuous they are, a good chance they're not that virtuous in reality. I think that's a lot of leftists and people on the left. Again, he's on the screen, he's preaching peace, morality, virtue, all those things. And then in reality, he's assaulting someone on the opposite political spectrum of him, who's a journalist. A bunch of these people are full of crap. And again, they focus more on virtue signaling and looking like they're virtuous than actually being virtuous. Big difference there. I talk about this and many things like this in my email newsletter. I send that out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. The link is in my profile. So just click that link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
Yep, this clip isn't even political, right? It's just a regular guy saying, hold up, it's not matching. Usually that's what I see when I'm watching the left to any capacity. Say one thing, do another. And that's the problem. Because when everyday people can see it clearly, clear as day, but certain groups will still defend it, that's not a misunderstanding. That's choosing a side over reality. Now, I want you to watch what that turned into for that guy's preaching peace and all this other stuff. Because once these people feel protected, they stop hiding it. Now he wants some sympathy. Oh, matter of fact, my fault. Here's some more added context. Here's proof that there was some level of plan or coordination to attack this conservative journalist. Let's get into it.
That's right. That's what my daughter said.
This is going to be the most boring fucking video to watch ever, bro.
Yeah, she's doing it in her ear.
Your daughter's about to throw hands.
Well, because the girl's trying to do shit to her.
I know.
I told my daughter to go blow it.
Hey, you guys.
peaceful left, though. This is a peaceful left, though. I can't stop people. She fucking touched my daughter. Oh, you're trying to get a video. That's I can't have 15 people talking. See? People that get conversation.
Y'all, that's not. Okay, this is me pausing it now, but all those other pauses is just a video. Y'all bear with the technical issues. I don't know.
Oh, fucking tough guy. Fucking pig. Fuck you. Look at that angle. What are you doing? I'm literally doing nothing. I am not in your way, sir. I'm not in your path.
Able to leave.
This is
What?
Look at the rage. Look at the rage in his face. Look at the rage in his face.
Look at him. He thinks he's powerful.
He's telling people to shut up and get out of his property, right?
See, look at him. Look at that.
You are a loose fucking cannon, sir.
You need to take him
Yeah.
out.
Not me. It's not me doing it. It's some with this edit right here. But I think we can pause it right here. It ain't not much more of the video left. I'll just say that's not a mistake, though. Well, the pauses was, but that's not things getting heated, right? That's a grown man directing behavior and involving his own kid in it. Let that sink in for a second. Father, team, think about it. You know, the same crowd that lectures everybody else about morality is out here normalizing that. That's not activism. And nobody checks it. Man, that's what happens when people think that SAR cannot be wrong to no capacity. Now, take that same behavior and put it in front of someone who actually enforces the law.
Tom, this is insane. I saw it firsthand when I was in Minneapolis. These people are terrifying to young women. She's 5'4", and she's lucky she wasn't hurt worse.
And look, you know, my heart goes out, and this shouldn't happen in the United States. But you know what feeds all this? Mayors and governors and members of Congress who want to vilify Republicans. They want to vilify President Trump. They want to vilify Turning Point USA because they have conservative beliefs. I mean, they attack journalists. Well, they also attack sworn law enforcement officers. We're living in a country now where an ICE officer gets attacked daily. These protests, these attacks not only happen where Sarah was, it also happened in Los Angeles, Portland, Chicago. It's an ongoing dilemma, and that's why I'm grateful the FBI is stepping in. DOJ is going to seek prosecution on this, because at this point, I don't trust any local jury in a sanctuary jurisdiction. I'd much rather see the feds pick it up and charge it with a federal crime, because the sentence is going to be a lot more stringent and it sends a strong message. But we cannot give up on this. We got to keep prosecuting these people. 18 U.S.C. 111, you know, interference, assault, record high number of prosecutions. We got to continue down that path and hold these people accountable. We cannot accept this as a norm in the United States of America.
Yep, different tone immediately, because outside that bubble, this is an expression. It's a crime, literally a crime. And here's what's been happening for years. As long as the chaos points in the right, not the right, the right direction, it gets explained away, minimized, reframed, ignored. But the second someone says, no, we're not doing that, now it's a problem. Now, here's where it really starts falling apart, because the people driving this energy, right, aren't even grounded in what they're claiming.
Can you not hear it in my voice?
Are you going to cry? Because I asked you to define a term on your sign. It's actually not even spelled right. It actually says fascism. Your sign says fight fascism. What is fascism?
Fascism is the breakdown of a society. There's no society when fascism is present.
Can you give me a definition?
I don't really know if I have to give you a definition, because I know I feel violated against my government.
Okay, but what is fascism? When we want to fight something, it's easy. It's good to define them, right? We could phone a friend. What is fascism? You could help her.
I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to speak to you. I'm fighting for how I feel.
Right.
For others.
Of course. What specifically do you feel?
Can you not hear it in my voice?
Are you going to cry? Because I asked you to define a term on your sign, and I'm not trying to make you cry, and I don't think you should. I don't think you should cry. I'm just asking you to define what fascism is, because I see a lot of people getting labeled this, and whole administration is being labeled that. ICE agents are labeled as fascists, and it's getting them hurt. And so I think if we're going to talk about fighting fascism, which people do by assaulting ICE agents, by going after Trump, trying to shoot him dead on stage. He's labeled a fascist, and then someone tries to take his life on stage. Charlie Kirk was labeled a fascist, and he got murdered in front of everyone. So I think it's important when we are holding signs in public that say to fight fascism, it's important to define it.
Now, this is who's out there leading these chants. No definitions, no clarity, just emotion, as she says. And that's exactly why it spreads, because when something is built on feelings instead of facts, which we know that it's their kryptonite, you can push it away in any direction that you choose, any direction that you want. And once people buy into that, they'll defend anything tied to it, which explains this perfectly, right? Because I want you to watch how fast morality changes when the story changes.
I think it's terrible and inhumane. It's deplorable that the U.S. president is doing that.
I think it's awful, really, just to send people back after they have a life here.
That number sounds crazy.
I'm speechless. I thought we were doing fine before he became president.
Hey guys, this is Matt Miller with Political. Today I'm here in Georgetown in liberal Washington, D.C., and we're asking people, what is their response to the fact that Donald Trump has deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants so far? The catch is, Obama is the one who deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants. Trump hasn't. He's deported 400,000 with 1.6 million self-deporting. Let's see if people switch up their answers and reactions when they find out Obama more than 6x'd Trump's deportation record. Trump has deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants so far. What is your response to that?
I'm speechless. I thought we were doing fine before he became president. And I feel great sympathy for the people who are sent to countries that they don't even know.
Democrats have said that this is inhumane, it's unprecedented. Would you agree with that?
I would, yes.
Trump has deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants. What is your take on that?
Well, that's awful. I didn't know about it. You're just telling the news. I think it's awful, really, just to send people back. They have a life here. I just think it's awful.
A lot of Democrats are saying that it's unprecedented and it's even illegal. Do you agree with that?
I think so. I think it's illegal.
I mean, I think it's terrible and inhumane, and I think that the world deserves answers, and I think that it's deplorable that the U.S. president is doing that to his own citizens currently.
And a lot of Democrats have echoed that, and they've said that this is unprecedented, it's illegal. Agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So actually, President Obama deported 3.1 million illegal immigrants. Trump has deported 400,000, and 1.6 million have self-deported. So much more have self-deported. Does that change? Are you still speechless or disturbed by Obama's?
I am speechless because of the way he is doing it. It's inhumane, it's disrespectful, and I think a lot of it may be illegal.
How is it different than the way Obama is doing it, in your view? Because Obama used ICE to deport people, families, and...
I'm afraid I couldn't speak on that because I don't have the information.
But in your mind, how is it different to what Obama did in any way?
President Trump is very self-centered, egotistical, and seems beyond the rule of law.
But I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. You said you were speechless and it was bad. that Trump deported 400,000, but
It's not the number, it's the process. How is Trump doing this?
he's using ICE.
He's rounding up people, sending them to countries that they didn't come from. He is sending in the National Guard in ways that people have asked him not to, but he doesn't listen.
Well, that's a separate matter because that's dealing with crime and activists, protesters, Antifa.
In Chicago, he says that they should be locked up because they're not protecting ICE.
Yeah, militants are attacking ICE.
There it is. Same action, but now we're negotiating how to feel about it. Why? Because it doesn't hit the same. When the name attached to it isn't the one you were told to hate. And that's the game. That's the whole playbook. Outrage lately isn't based on what happened. It's based on who did it. And once you see that, I said lately, I didn't mean to say lately. It's quite literally based on that. My bad. I don't know, filler words I'm trying to add in and stuff. But, you know, once you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Now, I want you to step back for a second because all of this, it definitely leads somewhere.
Interesting thing about that moment is that Ro Khanna offers you the rhetoric, we've been for closed borders. And you immediately follow up with, but that doesn't reflect in your policies, in your record, in the places that you run. And what was his response when you're given the data from California?
I mean, it's just standard response from someone like himself, trying to deflect, trying to change it over into a conversation about how ICE is treating people as they're being removed. But I'm glad I was strong enough to bring him back to the point, which is simply you are in a sanctuary place, sanctuary cities. You are pro making things easier for illegal migrants, which then turns into supporting and even promoting illegal immigration.
And then you use the Epstein talking point because the Epstein talking point is the political football the left has picked up to suggest there's some protection of pedophiles, when in fact you had the stats here. The biggest funnel of pedophilia is the illegal immigration trade. It is the cartels. It is bringing in these underage kids who become sex slaves in America.
Exactly. And it's very frustrating to me. I am a mother. It's so frustrating that the left tends to use the small percentage of something that is happening. We can't ignore that. But they use that small percentage to the outlier, if you will, to dismiss the huge problems going on because of their policies. So I can understand they just need votes, right? But I cannot allow them to pretend like they don't realize that hundreds of thousands of children have gone missing during the Biden administration alone.
I know that's right. Now, this is the part they avoid. Because while people are distracted arguing over narratives, real consequences and real damage and real impact, that's all actually happening underneath it. And the same people creating the chaos are the same ones pretending they're fixing it. Look, man, this wasn't random. It wasn't just one protest. It wasn't just one family. It wasn't just one bad moment, right? It's what's happening when a group of people was told over and over again that they're on the right side no matter what they do. Everything is justified under that umbrella, so to speak. You know, because once people start believing that, rather, they stop checking themselves. They stop questioning their own actions. And eventually they stop caring what it looks like to everyone else. That's how you get peace and harmony speeches, you know what I'm saying, followed by behavior that looks like nothing of what they preach it. Not because they don't see the contradiction at all, but because they've been taught it doesn't apply to them. And that's where everything starts breaking down. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment, no more excuses. Because that's exactly where I'm at with it. Y'all be safe. Go check out somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.